Smile there.
In your opinion, should a one-way test be used as a basis for a summative test, and why? Miss Kutuan?
In my opinion, it is applicable to use one way because it depends on what the teacher wants to measure, but it also suggests the one way use high order teaching skills. So I think it is also appropriate to use one way to use in the summative assessment.
Since summative test, gagamitin ba siya ng teacher as a basis na kanyang gagawin sa test? Yes. Since hindi naman siya nag-assess ng higher order thinking skill, nasa low level lang siya, effective ba siya na gagamitin?
Na-correct na natin yung kanina. Di ba sabi natin, hindi lang siya pang lower level, hindi lang naka-indicate. Siguro yung pwede itanong dyan ay, ano ang limitation ng one-way QS kapag ginamit mo siya sa summative assessment? I think that would be a better question. So, ano yung limitation?
Yung limitation,
Sige, ikaw na lang.
so yung limitation ng one way, pag ginamit mo siya sa summative test, is since yung one way, nasa lower level lang siya ng higher order thinking skill, hindi niya masyadong yung limitation niya ba, yung parang yung mga complexity, hindi niya masyadong ma-assess compare sa two-way TOS.
Okay, so there's a possibility that the teacher will focus only on lower level kapag one-way. Although seasoned teachers can actually make use of one-way QS and include higher level thinking. Pero mga teacher na hindi pa masyadong okay magawa ng assessment might overlook higher level thinking. Yun lang ha. Again, na-correct na natin yun, no? A one-way QS doesn't necessarily mean it is only for lower level questions. Okay. It can be used, but there's no way to check. Okay, there's no way to check. And to ensure it, we make use of. Okay.
So I have here an activity, multiple choice. Anyone who wants to answer will raise their hand. So number 1, sino gusto sumagot? What is the primary difference between a one-way and a two-way QS?
Raise your hand, Alvarez. Raise your hand.
Wait lang. You vary people. Nakailang beses na. All those who haven't recited here, nakailan na tayo
Since Anika,
What is the primary difference between one-way and two-way QS? Organization of content and communication.
Any other answer? Thank you. Miss Sarah, do you have any other answer?
I think the answer is letter B. Learning test, reliability.
Can we go back? Why?
Why?
Why letter B siya?
Pwede mo siya create ang test na
Yeah, number 2. Why D? Why not A?
the reason letter B ang answer mo kaya sa letter A po, it is the one-way QoS po yung letter A. Since one-way QoS is focusing on the complexity of the content, and the letter B is determining test reliability. Since two-way QoS have a higher order complexity. So it has so it determines the test reliability, which causes or the critical.
Okay, let's hear it from our teacher. Why is letter B the answer?
Yung two-way is nag-test siya ng reliability kasi reliable siya since naka-align siya sa mga objectives and sa assessment, and then clear yung kanyang instructions.
Pero di ba sabi natin, kapag alignment ang pinag-uusapan, we are talking about validity.
Yes, ma'am.
Ano ang reliability nga? Okay, results, the scores. May scores na ba tayo dito? Sa
Measure what you need to
mali ang source. Source for loss. Okay, actually, I would go for letter A. I would go for letter A kasi 2S is really about content validity. Pang content validity talaga ang DOS. Hindi siya sa reliability issues. Although ito siguro pagdating sa reliability, ganito kasi yung class. Okay, para klaro sa atin ha, why is it that in every objective, it's not sufficient to test one objective using one item only? Bakit hindi sapat ang isang item para i-measure ang attainment ng isang objective? Especially sa selected response. Like multiple choice. Bakit hindi sapat? Not well represented. Meron ko isang item, so it's represented. Okay, o sige, it's not enough, but yeah, that's one explanation. It's not enough. Kasi posible, hindi eh. Kung halimbawa lang, the objective is give example of concepts. Because the question is, which of the following is an example of this concept? Pwede na, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. Pero bakit hindi sapat ang isa lang?
Isa lang na concept.
Isang konsepto lang.
The range of
Or,
What if yung objective mo nakafocus lang talaga sa isang concept? Give examples of validity. O, isang concept lang.
Hindi siya reliable kasi hindi siya
yung result na hindi magiging reliable na isa lang yung
Why not reliable?
reliable is consistency. So, isa lang pagtutuon ng pansin ng teacher. Kung tama yun na. That means nakaintindi yung bata. Pero kung mali siya sa isang item lang yun, hindi siya nakaintindi. Malay mo na tama. So, guessing.
Malay ng tsambahan. Okay, sige. Let's use that direction. Malay natin na tsambahan. Posible sa selected response ng tsamba-tsamba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Ngayon, para ma-check natin kung tsamba ba talaga o hindi, dapat magdagdag tayo ng item. Tama? Kasi minsan, totoo nga naman talaga. At hindi kapani-paniwala yung tsambang 5. Diba? Pwede na yung tsambang 1, pwede rin yung tsambang 2, pero yung tsambang 5, parang hindi yata yun, no? Masyado pa rin maswerte sa buhay kapag tsamba yung 5. Alright? Okay. So, mas malilesen natin yung error. Mas makakakuha tayo ng mas accurate na picture ng ability ng estudyante kapag mas madaming items. Alright? Yun lang actually yung makukontribute ng TOS sa reliability to ensure na sapat yung number of items sa bawat objective. Hindi lang iisa. Ilang items ba ang sapat? 3. Nakadepende sa klase ng exam mo, class. At saka yung practicality ng time. Pero, ang sinasabi ng ibang eksperto 5 sa bawat objective. Okay, pwede rin 3. Pwede na yun. Tsambang 1, siguro yung 2 hindi na tsamba. Diba? Best yet, 5 items, pwedeng 10 items, pero baka masyadong marami ng yung 10, lalo na kapag ang objectives mo ay 10 din, 100 items na. Diba? So, marami tayong consider, pero definitely it shouldn't be only 1 item per objective because of the error, possible error. Okay, so, yun na ang makakontribute ng TOS. Pero sa kabuuan, TOS actually wants to ensure content validity. 1-way man yan, or 2-way, or 3-way. Okay, pang content validity talaga ang TOS. Okay? Primary difference, sige, I would go for cognitive level, pero bakit organization of content is a difference between 1-way and 2-way? Wala bang organization of content sa 1-way? Meron. So, hindi difference ang organization of content. Diba? Medyo problematic na. Pwede pa yung cognitive level ang difference, pero not the organization of content. Sige. Meron pa bang ibang questions? Ano lang ba difference? Okay, sige, let's go to the next.
Sa video ko, nag-ask di ba ako sa inyo ng tanong sa start of the video? I asked you if you ever faced a test where the questions or the content of the test is hindi pa natutunan. Naka-face na ba kayo? So, sino nag-yes? Miss Rosagas. Yes, nag-yes ka ba?
share your experience.
Experience ako ng assessment. Hindi na puro, pero mabas. Very confused. Paano ko siya sasagutan? And wala talaga akong idea kasi hindi ko siya nasali sa study. Usually, di ba kapag study, yung mga contents na ano lang, na related sa turo. So, confused ako, hindi ko siya masagutan. Ibig ko sumala.
Pero tama din ang binto. Tama din ang binto.
From that answer of yours, sa tingin mo, why is it important to align the assessment method and the learning targets based on that experience?
So yun nga, based sa experience ko, makukonfuse mo yung student, possible na magbaba yung formula dahil lang din sa
So that's correct, no? The importance of aligning the assessment method and the learning targets is that to ensure, of course, our past discussion is the validity. Yun naman yung main purpose ng EOS is to ensure that the assessment method and the learning target aligns with each other. So let us connect our topic sa Bloom's taxonomy. So can you still recall the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes.
Una. So you remember, no, yung levels ng Bloom's taxonomy. So what do you think is the role of Bloom's taxonomy in aligning the assessment method and the learning target? Fred? What do you think the role of the Bloom's taxonomy? Kasi nare-report naman natin, ilang ulit na natin na-discuss ang Bloom's taxonomy. So for you, what do you think is the connection or the role of the Bloom's taxonomy in aligning the learning methods and the learning targets?
So, sinabi na it did align ang objective and also the assessment by confusion sa estudyante and then it will affect its performance. So what is the connection of the assessment and also the target and the objectives related targets at sa Bloom's taxonomy? For me is para malaman ng teacher kung saan yung understand ba ng estudyante or if
So, meron bang may sagot sa inyo? Miss Toledo? What do you think is the role of the Bloom's taxonomy in aligning the learning targets?
Jana, laksan mo. Hindi ka maririnig sa video.
Ang role ng Bloom's taxonomy sa ano na alam mo paggawa ng assessment. Let's listen to Mr. Gary.
Ang base siya sa ang role ng Bloom's taxonomy sa paggawa ng assessment and sa number ng items na gawin mo. Kasi diba, nasabi kanina na paggawa ng assessment is dapat balance and fair. So, nasali dun sa din na dapat sabi, siya sa community skills and
Yes, that's correct. So, the Bloom's taxonomy serves as the framework, no? Parang siya yung
So in ensuring the validity of the assessment or the validity of the assessment, we use the three-way table of specification. Pero bakit kaya three-way table of specification, hindi one-way? From the as discussed. So, hindi mo ma-recall yung laman ng three-way TOS sa video? Meron akong sinabi dun ba na laman ng three-way TOS? Yes, Miss Lauren? Ano yung laman ng three-way TOS? Kahit yung three-way ano lang yun.
Ano? Pwede pala.
The cognitive skills, the content, the content areas, and the assessment item format.
Yes, that is correct. The three-way table of specification consists of the content, cognitive level, and the assessment level. Hindi ka tulad ng mga nauna, is dito sa three-way table of specification is naka-specify kung ano talaga yung assessment method na gagawin. So, di ba binigyan ko kayo ng activity kanina sa pinakalas na part ng video? Sino nakagawa? Sabi ko isulat sa kahit anong sheet ng paper na lang. So, dito yung mag-share ng kanilang sagot.
I-collect yan ha. Lahat ng ipa-activity nila, i-collect at ibibigay sa akin. Sige, simula next meeting, seryoso ka na pag magbigay sila ng activity, it's your responsibility to do it. So I'm going to collect.
So, sino mag-share ng kanilang sagot? Yes, Mr. Uday?
Number 1 lang, no?
Oh, yung one.
Number 1 is describe learning objectives and assessment methods. Ang number 1 sa learning objectives can describe the steps in the water cycles. Therefore, ang assessment niya kay oral recitation.
So, what do you think is the content based on that learning
Okay.
objectives?
For me is that ano yun?
Ano yung content doon?
The water cycle.
Yes, very good. No. Now, before you answered oral recitation, what made you think or ano yung process na igamit mo or i-ensure mo para yun yung tama na learning method na gamitin?
Yeah, kasi based on the statement or based on the objectives that he gave to us is that describe the steps of the content or the water cycle. Therefore, you are describing the steps of the water cycle. Therefore, you don't need to, or like for example, it is in need na oral recitation siya kasi describe the step nga ng water cycle.
So, did you consider another assessment methods?
Yes.
So, ano yung assessment method?
The multiple choice quiz. Kasi from that, it will help the student to recall the other steps so that he or she can construct from his head what are the sequence of the water cycle.
So, very good. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So, yeah, that is the importance or like the importance of learning how to align your learning targets with your assessment methods. So, the key takeaways is
Okay, wait. Can I add something? Multiple choice ba yung binigay ko sa kanila na activity?
Yes, ano ma'am?
Matching.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, ano yung iba pa na assessment method na pwede doon sa describe? Meron ko bang copy nun? Yung matching. Ano ba yung ibang assessment method na wala doon? Wala ba doon? Yung wala doon sa options?
Essay.
Essay, walang essay. Pwede yung essay? Sa describe? So, ano ang pinaka-practical? O, ayan.
Practical na ganito.
Pag ako sa questioning ko, dapat ganun yung mga tinatanong. Ano ang pinaka-practical? So, nasabi na ang oral, ang multiple choice, ang essay.
Hindi na pwedeng tatlo.
Ha?
Hindi na pwedeng tatlo.
Yan ang pinaka-practical yung tatlo, equal to
Hindi
practical.
lang yung multiple choice.
Ha?
Kasi if we're talking about practicality and efficiency, we must be sure that for the chemistry is that it's easier to check. However, kasi yung essay, isa pa natin sila nag-check. So, it's time consuming. So, multiple choice talaga yung pinaka-practical.
Okay. Sige, multiple choice. Proceed. Oh my God. Relax ka na.
Yes, ma'am. Yun lang yung topic ko.
I still have time.
Wala na akong tanong mo.
Multiple choice essay.
Ano yan? I still have time. Hindi na tayo mag-proceed sa next topic. Next meeting na yun.
So, yung question 2 and 3 ba?
Okay, may ba nasabi sa inyo, it should be a minimum of 15 minutes,
May
maximum of
question 2
20
and 3.
minutes.
Sila
May
lang.
2 minutes na.
So, the other, meron pa tayong 3 items dyan. So, please.
So the second learning objective is solve a word problem and solve a percentage. The assessment method that I use is word problem solving worksheet. Based on the answers, the assessment method here is the most aligned with the solving math problem world involving percentage is word problem solving. Kasi nakalagay dito multiple choice, Venn diagram, explanation, and with explanation and oral recitation. So we got
The content.
yes, the content is solving math person.
Yun yung content. Kasi content na specify sa topic.
Yes.
So, thank you sa kahari. So, sa number 3, Miss Espanyola, kung ready ka na sumagot.
So the number of question is compare and contrast the mathematical system. So based on the answer that I have, the type of assessment method that is suited to this kind of objective is Venn diagram with explanation. Also, we can also consider oral presentation, same with
Na-discuss ba sa video yung ano yun? May simple knowledge, tapos deep understanding, product skills.
Actually, ma'am, add ko siya dapat sa video, ma'am, but hindi pa kasi na-discuss yung yung mga ibang selected response. So,
It's okay. It's okay. Di ba sinabi ko isama dapat na? Okay, like, is it appropriate to use essay to measure simple knowledge?
yes. Tatanong ko lang simple knowledge daw, like, what is science? So, paano mo sila put a 3 sentence explaining what is water science.
Okay, ano ang mas appropriate kaysa sa essay?
Multiple choice.
Kailan pinaka-appropriate ng essay? Anong anong type ng ano ba ito? Anong type ng assessment? Anong level of question? Anong class of objectives? Yung pinaka-appropriate ang essay.
For me, sa understanding na part, sa understanding na level, pinaka-appropriate yung essay. Kasi ang purpose na talaga ng essay is to explain a concept. So, for me, and sa learning targets is the deep understanding.
Okay, deep understanding. It's actually not very advisable or practical to use essay for simple knowledge. Why? There is a better assessment method for simple knowledge that is more practical, and that's multiple choice, binary, yung mga selected responses. But if you want to measure deeper knowledge, then you can go for essay. Organization of ideas. Ano pa ba? Yung kanilang critical thinking, analytical, evaluative thinking skills. Mag-i-essay ka doon. Diba? Persuasive skills. Yan, essay yan. How about, yung outputs, tangible outputs. Ano yung appropriate na assessment task doon? Diba meron tayong selected response and brief constructed responses, essays, performance tasks, self-evaluation, observation, yun yung mga assessment methods natin. Observation, ano pa ba, oral, questioning, yung mga types of assessment methods natin. So, alin doon yung pinaka-appropriate para sa ano yung sabi ko kanina? Tangible outputs. Tangible outputs. Such as, kung mapapagawa ka na, ano ba yung mga tangible? Cake. Baking ng cake. Ano yung mga tangible outputs ninyo? Pagdating sa science, anong tangible
Performance-based model.
Okay. Models. Sorry ha. Yeah, that's really very common. Kaso lang, medyo questionable kung models lang. Paper, di ba? Research paper is a tangible output. Yeah, mas complex yun kaysa magpagawa ka ng model. Di ba? Magpagawa ka ng model, anong natitest ng model? Anong learning? Ha? No. Creating? Paano yan kung kinopia mo lang yung model mo? Is it still creating? Di ba creating necessitates originality?
Yes. Making.
Problem solving, kailangan yan sa creating. May problem solving ba dun sa no? Pwede siguro kapag ang sinabi ng teacher mo, create a model without, create a model of the earth, bato, without spending anything. Pwede siguro yun. Kaso lang, yung resourcefulness mo, i-test ng teacher. Without spending anything, tapos may huwag na. Okay, sige. So, since may time pa tayo, tanongin ko na lang ha. Natanong ko na yung, pwede ba tayong gumawa ng TOS before instruction? Natanong ko na yung before instruction. Is it okay to make a TOS? Is it okay to make a TOS that specifies the topics only? I make a two-way TOS and I write the topics only and walang objectives. Okay lang ba?
Checklist.
And then, two-way of Okay, sige nga. Ano ang meron sa two-way na wala sa one-way? Ha? The cognitive skills, like the specific number of items for each cognitive level. Okay. Ano meron sa three-way na wala sa two-way? Assessment method. Okay, so hindi naka-specify kung essay ba ang gagamitin mo, kung multiple choice ba, kung etc. Okay, so ngayon, ang tanong ko sa inyo, okay lang ba gumawa ng two-way QS na topic lang nakalagay, hindi naka-specify ang objective? Is it okay? No, yes or no? Yes? No? No. Let's for example, this is how it looks like. Let's say assessment 2, no. With final exam. That's the final exam natin. The principles of high quality assessment. Tapos, meron tayong QS, meron tayong multiple choice. O topics lang. Multiple, tas binary. Tapos, are you okay, ganito lang. Walang objectives. Okay lang pag gumawa ng QS. Let's say, for example, I have 5 items here, 5 items here, diba? 5 items here. Dito naman, multiple choice. Then, binary. Pwede naman ako maglagay ng items dito, pero hindi ako maglalagay. Maglalagay ako ng analysis at evaluation. Hindi ako magpapaglalagay. Pwede pa? Pwede. But why is it advisable, especially for beginning teachers, to have specific objectives? Na hindi lang puro topic. This is actually simpler. Ginagawa ito sa DepEd. At ina-accept din kasi lang may limitation dito. Alright? May limitation. Lalo na pagdating sa mga katulad ninyo ng beginning teachers or pre-service teachers, why are we emphasizing a more detailed QS? Okay, ako na matagal ko na itong tinuturo, alam ko na pwede akong maglagay ng remember, na understand. I can visualize the items already. Okay, I have items in mind already. Pero kayo na nagsisimula pa lang, you probably will get confused. Okay, that's why in-emphasize natin yung gagawa kayo na at i-specify yung objectives dito for checking purposes. Let's say, for example, kapag first year nyo ng teaching sa DepEd, pwede i-check ng master teacher kung naka-align mo talaga. Like, you said here na ang sabi niyo dito, halimbawa lang, explain relationships among high quality assessment. Or, sige. Tapos yung next mo ng US ay identify factors that contributed to low quality assessment. Halimbawa lang. So, saan ito naka-align dapat i-explain?
Understanding.
Okay, so easier ang checking related, you have to take US, tapos i-attach mo yung exam, mag-check yan individually. Kaya, better sa beginning teachers, yung meron talaga kayo na. Right, okay, next we need to sa inyo, paano ba, ano yung turo mo? Paano gumawa ng US? Sino sa inyo hindi yung familiar ka sa US maybe? Lalo na yung may family kayo, tapos na pure weeks kayo ba yan? Ginagawa nila.
Sila din kabayo na.
Ay,
Sa pangkabayo.
Turuan nila kayo ng simple calculation. Okay? Kaya meron tayong applied dyan sa US. Applied. Okay? Simple calculation. Alright? Sige. Ito nga, napapansin ko pagdating sa oras talaga natin, parang iba na yung mga our working moves. Then, since after the midterms, dalawa na lang talaga ang klase.
Na-record sa'yo, gusto rin yan.